This program is rated PG. It contains themes and scenes which may not be suitable for very young audiences. Parental guidance is advised.
Be advised that the views and opinions of the hosts and guests do not reflect those of the station.
Day 15. Day 15. And I don't know, it's about 35, 40 below right now. It's really cold. And it's been a tough 2 weeks.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Philippines Uncut. I'm your host, Buddy Kunana. Now, in this show, we talk about everything in the sun, and tonight we've prepared a very nice show for you. You know, folks, on this show, one of our advocacies is we support and we help promote historical accomplishments by Filipinos all over the world. And tonight, I'm very pleased to tell you that we have in the studio tonight, here with me, the first Filipino and the lady at that to conquer the North Pole. And pleasure to welcome Ms. Samelyn Pimentel. Sam, welcome to Philippines Uncut.
Thank you for inviting me to be here, Buddy. And I love to share my story because for a lot of people, it may be impossible and quite hard to get to the North Pole. And I could say, you know, there is a way to get there.
Definitely. And yeah, I want to say that, you know, this is such an honor for me to have you here because you are really a true adventurer. And I call you a North Pole explorer because, I mean, what you did was really quite amazing. Now, let's talk about your background first before we jump into the topic. Tell us a bit about who is Samelyn or Sam Pimentel.
I'm in a corporate executive, so I'm not a regular athlete, or I'm not really an athlete as such, but more of it's something of a passion. I do it as an artistic expression. So I don't paint, and this is one of my way of testing and improving myself mentally to get to a place to have a better mental fitness.
Yes. So growing up, you know, as a young person and things like that, were you always into sports, or you said, or were you never into sports really?
I'm quite active, really, but I wouldn't call myself as a sports person. Although I'm quite active, I would take up volleyball, badminton from time to time. I would do kayaking whenever I'm on the beach, on the on somewhere out to sea, or you know. So I'm active. I'm not really, but I wouldn't really call it as, you know, hardcore athletic activity. So it's nothing of that kind.
So what got you into this extreme activity? Because what you did really, skiing, I mean, on foot, going to North Pole on foot, and there's no other way to do it but ski, with skis, no? It's a pretty extreme sport. What got you into this?
Well, when I was growing up, I always look up to the North Star. Something that is quite odd for a lot of people, but it's just something that, you know, fascinated me. And, you know, as I grew older, I don't think it's possible to get there. And then I realized, I think there's a North Pole, so maybe I should, you know, I'd be able to go there. So that's the closest I could maybe get to.
No, but even you as an individual, when you're thinking about doing something, you know, a lot of people have bucket lists.
Yes.
And their bucket lists are pretty tame, no? You know, I want to see the Great Wall of China, I
Right.
want to see the Grand Canyon.
Yeah.
Yours was, I want to go to the North Pole. What was it about the North Pole that, you know, it's not unusual, it's not a usual dream of people to have, huh?
Right. Well, having bucket list is good because that's actually a way of getting to somewhere that is farther from where you started. So for me, mine is more than really the physical side of it, is the mental, because my journey to the North Pole, I call it a journey really more than, although it's an expedition, but it's more of a mental journey for me. And it takes, you know, I mean, 80% of it is mental. 20% is just the mechanics of
The
course,
physical,
making
yeah.
sure that you have the right gadget, the right clothing, the right gears and equipments to make sure you come back alive. But it's really more of the mental preparation to be able to get there.
Oh, interesting. Now, let's talk about the hike to the pole. How does one start? How does one, I mean, okay, you had this dream and said, an objective, and you said, I want to go to the North Pole.
Yes.
How does one start? I don't even know how one starts on a journey like this.
To be honest with you, I don't also, until now, sometimes it hasn't sunk in that I've been to the North Pole, because the preparation there took really a long time. Like back in 2006, I climbed the Sydney Harbour Bridge, and getting to the top, I said, well, I could climb and I could go farther than this. This is pretty lame. I mean, nothing against the bridge, but you know,
I mean, compared to the
felt
pole, it is lame.
Yes, exactly, compared to the pole. But you know, so from then, you know, somehow something clicked.
No, but how does one do it? I mean, is there a website you can go to? Is there an office you have to contact? How does one even start? I mean, do you have to register someplace and get a permit? How do you start in this process?
Well, you really have to make sure that you have the right guide. So you have to get in, you know, find the right people who goes there. For me, I actually just found them on the internet by accident. So, you know, and there are some things that it felt real for me, that these are the people that I should go to. It's not something that, okay, they're this, or, you know, the more affordable over this, and, you know, the others are not, or something like that. It's more of really having a connection with the people that you,
Of
you know,
course,
that,
of course.
that you would like to go there with, because you're basically putting your life and you
In
have,
their hands.
in their hands, and
Yes.
you know, you want to make sure that, you know, you go there and back in one piece, alive at that.
Of course.
So, you know, and these are the people that helped me to really, you know, make it happen.
So there are groups that do offer these trips to the North Pole for those who dare. I mean,
Yes.
there are organized commercial outfits.
Yes, they are commercial outfits, but these are sort of very. This is not like a commercial, big commercial type.
Sure, sure.
These are specialized groups of people who,
Yes.
who knows what they're doing. And for me, since it's on the North Pole, it's closer to the north, to Norway. So I got a team from Norway to help me get there.
How many countries offer expeditions to the North Pole? I mean, you mentioned Norway. I assume
Yeah.
Russia,
Yes.
Canada,
Yes.
also. I mean, are there
The
other
US.
the U.S.
Yeah, there are from South America as well. There are a lot of companies who offer.
Yeah.
but you gotta be careful because you gotta be careful on who to choose because there's in one season, for example, there are only a limited number of expeditions that can go there. Although the camp is run by the Russians, they are only allowing a certain number of expeditions per season.
They have to manage it. You can't have
Right.
a lot of people going there at the same time to,
Right.
to maintain the environment and to
Right.
manage the area well. No?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And because of that, every year they have to make sure that the base camp is set up. So they go there, like 2-3 months ahead.
Set it up.
Set
and,
it up, have the runway ready, and then when the ice melts, it also go down.
What is base
underwater.
camp? You mentioned base camp.
Yes.
What is base camp like?
Base camp basically is a floating camp
Yeah.
on the ice, and they prepare this base camp with airport, ice runway.
Okay. Wow.
That's where the planes,
Bring you guys, bring people who
bring
are
us,
going to go
yes.
to the North
and
Pole.
then you basically go in the tent. If immediately you get the heli drop, then you can go ahead.
So
and
basically, this is a
do
place
so.
where all of you guys get your gear together, get organized, and really,
Yes.
this is a jumping point. I think we have a
This is a
video.
jump, yeah.
You gave us a video of base camp, what it looks like,
Yes.
and we're going to play it so the people can see, our viewers can see what is base camp all about. Now, I'm sure it must be a very festive, multinational atmosphere there in base camp.
Not really.
No?
No, it's
Mixed
more of,
nationalities, that kind of thing?
Yeah, it's mixed nationality, but it's more of everyone is it's kind of muted because it's not something.
Yeah. Continue. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not something that because there is a chance that you could die, that you cannot come back, that you could not be able to come back. And during our time that we went to North Pole, there are two of the expeditions actually got into an accident and was not able to come back.
Yeah.
So the energy is muted. There's a lot of definitely them supporting, making sure that you feel okay and you're not getting sidetracked or anything or get scared unnecessarily. So they do that. That
Are you
sort of
screened? I mean,
atmosphere.
okay, we have a video now. Okay, we're playing it. This is the video of base camp, I assume. I see a
Yeah.
chopper there, and
Yes.
this is you pulling the sled.
From
This is
the
you.
base camp, yes. I'm pulling the sled, going towards the helicopter that will drop us to the last degree.
Okay, so from here, you're pulling your sled, and you're going to the chopper,
Yes.
and from here you will actually ride this chopper to the place where you will begin your walk to your ski.
Yes.
To the
ski
North Pole.
To the last degree.
Okay, how far is the entire the trek? I mean, how far is the course?
The trek is about 111 kilometers, but since it's a shifting ice, it moves. So even if if the base camp is maybe closer to the North Pole, but because it's moving depending on where the flow of the water is, so it moves farther and farther from the North Pole.
From the actual North Pole.
You'll have to keep walking more.
We have some
to
more
get there.
photos that we showed. We showed you preparing for the trek, and here, this is you again. This is a
Yes.
base camp, and
Yeah.
we can see you. I mean, it looks like you're wearing a lot of stuff. And who are these people? This is inside the chopper,
Yes, inside the
and
chopper.
it looks like you're with a bunch of different nationalities here.
Yeah, I'm with the twin climbers from India. They're actually three-time Guinness Book of World Records holder. That's the base camp.
And this is the sign, the post that shows the distances to Moscow, to
Yes.
to different places. And this is all your
Right.
gear,
These
loading.
are all the gears. These are all the pulks that we will pull towards North Pole.
Very interesting. Okay, let's talk about we stopped and we talked about the North Pole actually moves around. I'll tell you why. When lay people like me think about the North Pole,
Yes.
we think about Santa's home, and we think that there's an actual pole there that marks the North Pole. I understand that this isn't the case, no?
No. Well, actually, Santa is in Finland. I've met Santa in Finland, but not in North Pole. North Pole is actually on top of the Arctic Sea, and so it's covered in ice. It's about 4,000 feet deep,
Yeah.
So, it moves. So there's no point
An
of
actual
an
place
actual pole.
where you can, an actual place that says this is the North Pole.
Yes, there's nothing like that. And unlike in the South Pole, there's a pole there that you can, hold on and take photo and all that.
So how do you find the North Pole? I mean, you guys doing this trek.
Yes, we find the North Pole with the GPS. This is the kind of instrument that pilots use on
Sure, GPS,
the
Global
plane.
Position System.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, you basically follow the GPS to get to the 90 degree. So when you're dropped off at the 89th degree, you basically make your way towards the 90
So
degree.
basically, there's no path. There's no path, there's no trail.
There's
it's just
no path.
walking over
Yes.
whatever obstacle you get, and then
Yes.
finding until you reach the GPS reading that says you've reached North Pole.
Right.
Wow.
So, sometimes the hardest part there is basically, of course, aside from the cone, the mental challenge. Sometimes you get trapped in
course,
the
of course.
in the ice, and there's nowhere to hop onto because you got the water, freezing water. And basically there's unstable ice on the other side.
So you've got to adapt. You've got to
You
adapt,
have to
and
adapt.
change your strategy. It's not like
Exactly.
you just walk and you'll reach it eventually. You
Yes.
have to. It's a case-to-case basis. Huh?
You're basically on your own. Although you're in a group, in a way you have to manage your fear. You cannot make
course.
the others fearful because you're fearful. So you'll have to be able to, contain yourself to be able to move forward.
Now, okay, when you were applying for this trek, this trip, this expedition,
Yes.
adventure, and you were conducting these groups, was
Yes.
there a screening process? I mean, they say that you have to submit like your physical, they have to assess you, whether you can do it. I mean, is there a screening
Yes.
process? Do you have to meet certain requirements?
Yeah, I was actually very lucky with this group because they asked me what is my background, and Mr. Auslan himself was the one who
Yeah.
made the decision that I'm capable of reaching the North Pole. Because with others, you'll really have to have a 2-week or a month training before you
For
can
sure,
even
for sure.
get there.
Just to assess,
Yes.
Yeah.
So with my background, having been with the fire walking and all that, and getting into the ultramarathon prior to this one, made him decide that
course.
I'm capable of doing it.
That's very important because you are in an inhospitable environment.
Yes.
You're hundreds of kilometers away, even thousands from the nearest, rescue service or whatever.
Exactly.
And you're going to be part of a team.
Yes.
And so everyone has to be, I assume, varying degrees of physical strength and skill, but more or less in the same general category, no? So at least you
Yes.
don't hold people back, no?
Right, right.
Because I assume it must be difficult if you have strong skiers and you have weak skiers, so they kind of hold people back, no?
Right.
Yeah.
And so that's why, and I'm not even a skier when I went there. So
Had you ever skied before?
No. That was my
So
first time.
your first time to ski, to be on
Yes,
skis,
yes.
and you did this 111 kilometer ski trek, hike, whatever you call it,
Yes.
to the North Pole.
Yeah, it's like
Amazing.
It's like a cross country ski,
Amazing,
basically.
amazing.
And but the thing is, I wouldn't be able to go there on my own for sure. My team are very good. I have this team that are twins from India, the twin climber, and they're the 3-time Guinness World
Yes.
record holder, and another one from Egypt. He's also 7 summit. That was his last. All of them are actually, their last destination is North Pole.
Interesting,
And
interesting.
this is where I'm starting. So actually with this group, they have inspired me to maybe look into the 7 summits as well. But I said, we'll think about that when the time comes.
You're a superwoman, Sam. Huh? But wait, we have to pause for a break. When we come back, we'll talk about other things related to surviving in 40 degrees at the North Pole, 40 degrees below in the North Pole, and all this wonderful gear you have presented to us. So guys, stick around because more of the trek to the North Pole with the first Filipina to get to the North Pole, Sam Pimentel, when Philippines Uncut returns.
Day 15. Day 15. And I don't know, it's about 35, 40 below right now. It's really cold. And it's been a tough 2 weeks.
This program is rated PG. It contains themes and scenes which may not be suitable for very young audiences. Parental guidance is advised.
Be advised that the views and opinions of the hosts and guests do not reflect those of the station.